Hey vet friends, well, it is time for another video, and I just wanted to give a little bit of an introduction to this. As I've talked about before, I have dyslexia, and I also have attention deficit disorder. Being so, when I was a kid, I was the dumb kid. I was told by multiple teachers I'd never go anywhere in life, but look at me now. I'm in vet school! So, that being said, I know you guys can do it too. Just because you have a disability or maybe you don't feel smart, there's still a way to do this. It's going to be hard at times. It's going to take a lot of late nights, but I wanted to give you a few pointers of how I got here and how I'm still in vet school after a semester. So one of my biggest problems is dyslexia. These tests, being online, absolutely kill me. When I'm looking at things that say bronchial versus bronchius, I don't get it. Like, sometimes I get the wrong one, and then they tell you, is it A, is it B, is it C, is it A, B, and B, is it all of the above? You think you have it because you think it's a bronchiole, and it's a bronchius, and you just struggle with it. So for me, when I am doing these online tests, having a piece of paper or something that you can just cover one of the lines or surround the word, or even using the highlighter to highlight the word that you know is a word that's going to possibly trip you up. It's going to make a world of difference for some people. Dyslexia is one of those things. It's the most common learning disability, and not everybody's dyslexia is the same. But I find highlighting words that may be similar to other words helpful. The other thing I find is taking all of our prep material and turning it into an EPUB document. And what that does is it allows me to put it on my phone. And then from my phone, I can actually use that to read it while letting the phone, using Google Books, will actually read it to me while I'm reading it. So that is a huge help. It makes it a little bit slower because I'm not trying to read it as fast as I can. I'm trying to read it for understanding and comprehension, but at the same time, you're getting that audio feedback as well, and it's a huge help. So, other things that I can highly suggest, if you have attention deficit disorder, it's going to be hard to study alone. I know this. My brain wanders constantly. Like I said, I'm a writer. I like to write fantasy stories. And when I'm by myself trying to do my own work, there are times where my brain just goes and decides that it's going to think about something totally different than what it needs to be focused on. So that's going to be one of the hardest things that I found being in virtual vet school for this year, is not having that dedicated study group, not having dedicated study time. That makes a huge struggle for me. So I would suggest that you find some people that you can study with. Even if it is over Zoom, I would suggest no more than 3, because I find out after you get more than 3 people that you tend to get off topic. So just wanted to show you a quick what my dedicated workspace looks like. Currently, I have my whiteboard on the wall right next to my desk. You can see my laptop is elevated, and that is for posture reasons, plus my camera is on the bottom of that screen, which is why that screen is dark down towards the bottom, which is really weird for me. It's the first computer I've had, but I've been dealing with that for about 2 years now. And this is back from when I was younger. Love this little dinosaur. It lights up. I call this my study lamp. I like to keep it by me when I study so that it kind of gives my brain a different feel to my studying. And the only time that I have it sitting here next to me is and being on is when I'm studying. So that's my dedicated study space. And yeah, enjoy. Oh yeah, the box there that it's on, that is our bone box. I'd show you what's in it, but due to social media regulations from the school, we cannot show you individual parts of animals. So, because it's a bone box, I cannot show you what is in it. Bones. Lots of bones. So, another thing that is really helpful is having a dedicated study time. And frankly, I don't get a dedicated study time. It is currently almost 11 o'clock at night while I'm filming this, and I'm just finished with my prep material for tomorrow's classes. Because again, this is a reverse learning curriculum that I am in. So they give you prep material, give you quizzes to do for the morning, and you're expected come the next day to be able to regurgitate all of that and then some. So it's a struggle sometimes to understand the difference between PaO2 and PaO2, big A versus little a. But they expect you when you get into class the next morning to be able to get into a breakout room with a couple of different people and be able to discuss what you took from the material, how you can learn from it, as well as give you additional material on how to learn from it. And after you have an assignment or a test or whatever that has partially to do with that same material. Yeah, so having a dedicated study time would be hugely helpful for me, but with 4 kids in the house and working full time, it's really hard to find a dedicated study time. I just try to get this done when I can get it done, and I study as often as I can. So for me, it is when I wake up before my wife, I wake up before my kids, I go through videos, and that might mean that I'm up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and I just got the kids down to bed. So I'm going to be finishing my stuff here, and like I said, it's almost 11 o'clock at night. It just depends on the day. Sometimes it's early, sometimes it's late, sometimes it's the middle of the day. But sometimes we have class. Like on Tuesday, we had class from like 8 a.m. until almost 5. Doesn't leave a lot of room to goof around. But that leads me to another point. For people like myself with ADHD, and even for those people who don't, having some kind of a hobby will help you with your sanity. And I do mean having a hobby will help you with your sanity, because like I said, I have 4 kids. Love my 4 kids. We got them a Switch for Christmas, and I've been playing on that a little bit with them. They love Mario Kart and Smash Brothers. So yeah, when I have some time off, when my brain mentally needs a break, I sit down with them when they have time and we play together. Don't get to do it all the time, but it is something that we can do as a family. So outside of that, like I said, being a writer, I write things down, I edit my books, and hopefully the one that I'm currently editing, I will be able to send to an editor by the end of the year. That's what I'm hoping for. I will let y'all know if that ever happens. So the last one I would say that really helps me is getting yourself an app that blocks the internet and blocks internet content. Being able to turn off the internet is invaluable. Being able to just, I don't know, not have that distraction of, ooh, what is this? Let's search for this. Let's search for that. I can download everything I need. I can put it here. I can write my notes. I know I'm a hazard to the planet. I use tons of paper. It's just how I have to do it because, again, my dyslexia does not allow me to read the stuff on the computer as well as I would like it to. Reading stuff on my computer or reading it on my phone, like I talked about with an EPUB file, is helpful, but I still need these dedicated notes so that I actually can tell that I actually understand the material, what goes where, how it works. So that's me. That's a me thing, totally a me thing. I do not print out 100% of my slides. I print out the stuff that I feel like I need to actually be part of. Things that I feel like I need to actually be present for in the present frame of mind. Like medical math. I'm not ever been a good person for math because of my dyslexia. It is a struggle. And I print out everything. I do mean everything that has to do with mathematical equations because I know we're going to be tested on it and I want to know. As you can see, I've been working on my office. I got my whiteboard up and I will use my whiteboard for those medical math equations if I'm not printing them out. I will go over and over and over it. Repetition, repetition, repetition. It makes a huge difference in remembering things. So the last thing is we have radiographs and anatomy images. It's not hard for people like myself, like I said, to become distracted, but it's not words. So I don't really have an excuse not to look at the pictures and figure out what I'm looking at. But for every class, we have anatomy, physiology, biochemistry. Sometimes we have pathology, histology, every single class because we are a systems-based class. This is week 2 of vet school in 2021, and we've already taken 5 tests for the current class that I'm in. We have another 4 to go before the class is over, but that's okay because that 4th test is our final exam, and then we move on to a next class. All of our anatomy, all of our physiology, it all builds on itself in the different systems, and all the systems intercombine. I really like this way for myself because I know some of the other YouTubers are telling me they have ology classes. They have the biology, they have the physiology, whatever ology that they have. And they have 4 or 5 classes or 7 classes that run the entire semester. No, thank you. I'm not interested in taking 15 final exams at the end of the semester. I like to just be able to take one final exam, be done, move on to the next class. That helps me with my mental state. That helps me with my brain. I'll take 100 tests in a week if I have to, but I'd rather not. So anyway, just wanted to give you guys a heads up on some things that may or may not be helpful for you. If you are currently studying anything and there are tips that you have, please leave them in the comments. Let me know things that are helping you for your personal disability if you have one, or even if it's just something that you like to do that helps you either with your mental state or with remembering things. I know some people do Quizlets. I don't do Quizlets. Again, my dyslexia just doesn't let me do Quizlet stuff. I can go and look at 100 Quizlets and not understand a word of it when I'm done. So that's all for me, guys. Like and subscribe if you are interested in continuing to watch the content. And I will see you in the next video.